What up, dude and dudettes, Mr. Delivery Guy Si, back with another installment. In today's video, we're going to be seeing how my newly converted e-bike from bicycle copes into real world conditions. So sit back, relax. So without further ado, let's get into the specs. So this bike is a little bit hefty. It does weigh about 23 kilo. So yes, it does have a bit of weight to it. So we have hydraulic disc brakes. That is what you'll be needing with a beast like this with so much horsepower. We have a 48 volt 20 amp battery, which will give you a lot of power when combined and range with a 48 volt mid drive. You definitely need a motor like this to give you a lot of torque. Talking of torque, it has 80 Newton meters of torque. So a real bad boy here, real night rider. We also have springs in the seats for added suspension, and it has a really nice small little display so it's not all in your face. And when it comes to the wiring, as you can see, nice, neat and tidy. That's how we like it. You also want to give the, when you spend a bit on a bike, you want to have some of the best locks available. So an Abus really good diamond standard bike lock is definitely needed. As you can see, there's a red light and two greens, so that's about 75% charged. And you're going to need some big old wide pedals for them long commutes, or if you're doing delivery days, a lot of deliveries, you're going to need some nice wide grippy pedals, especially if you've got wide trotters like me. Now, this bike did cost me around £1,000 for the conversion, and the bike itself was around £400. But that's enough of that. Let's get on the bike and see how it copes in some real world conditions. I am currently in Dartford, so I'm literally about 8 miles away from Liverpool Street. But yeah, let's get on this night rider and see what it is capable of, especially on them steep hills. Ooh. Straight away you can feel the power of this. So this e-bike has 80 Newton meters of torque. So let's see how fast it can get to 0 to 15.5 miles per hour from a standing start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So literally just over 5 seconds and we're at 15.5. So it certainly isn't any Lamborghini, but to pull away from the standard traffic, from the red lights, and give you that little bit more bit of safety, I think it's pretty good. So I certainly prefer to check the battery levels from the battery itself and not the display, because it's not as accurate. And with the battery, basically a red light is 25%, a red and a green light is 50%, a red and 2 greens is 75%. So the range will really depend on the weather and the time of year. So if it's summer, it will be running optimally and getting that 60-mile range. But if it's winter, there will be a reduction in the range. I'm not sure how much it would be. It would vary on your conversion kit. But before I continue this video, I need to get on the bicycle lane, because this ain't all that safe, especially that I'm coming from Dartford to Liverpool Street's a little bit of a dodgy route, but it's entertaining for you guys. So in winter, yes, the range will definitely be less, but I would advise, if you can, get yourself a battery cover, because it keeps it a little bit more warmer and you get a little bit more juice out of it. You can find them on eBay, just a standard battery cover, and it's a bit like a blanket but for your e-bike battery. So I will say, I do like to kind of slightly apply pressure, and I like to see how close I can get to 25.5 kilometers per hour, and then just kind of stay at that range for a little bit, just so I'm letting the bike work for me, not me working for the bike. Because soon as you push past 15.5 miles per hour, basically that's all you. The motor basically turns off and it's up to you. Okay, we are good to go. and the bike is completely road legal. 250 watts, capped at 15.5 miles per hour. People just don't look where they're going. So this is certainly the commuter zipping through all this traffic. I would say if you're taking this to work, because of the 60-mile range, yeah, I certainly ain't risking that. Oh, thank you. Oh, what a sweetie. Thought I was going to be a sandwich then. But yeah, as I was saying, because of the 60-mile range, if you're commuting from and to work, like a 10-mile journey, you only really have to charge it once a week if you work like 5 or 6 days a week. So pretty good in terms of that, and just a cheaper way of living. I think we should take a more beautiful scenic route, so I'm going to take it quite easy here, as this looks like some sort of university. But look at that architecture. I feel like I'm in Assassin's Creed. We have a bit of a dead flag, a bit stagnant, but still beautiful nevertheless. And I don't mind braking on this bike because I've got to say again, that 80 Newton meters of torque is just incredible. Effortless. And I love that these e-bike conversions are 15.5 miles per hour, because then you can pull away from them line bikes that are set to 12 miles per hour, which I think is pretty good because they are big, bulky bicycles. So we are coming up to a slight incline here. We do have two hills. This is the medium-sized hill, and then we have a big mama of a hill at the end, which will really see if that 18 Newton meters of torque will come in handy. I have had this bike for about a week, but this will be an interesting test. So this is on the highest assistance, level 4, and yep, this is what I expected. Pretty much a breeze. Barely putting any effort in, just tickling the power. Always get a bit anxious when them bulky hybrid, I don't know what you'd call them, portable mini taxi e-bikes come past, because they do take quite a bit of bicycle space. Okay, let's be careful. Hopefully thank God that bugger didn't pull out, but yep. Was a bit cautious there because he was actually looking the wrong way. And if you're enjoying this bike review of a pretty, I'd say a moderate quality e-bike conversion kit, hit that like and subscribe, baby. Oh, undercover popo. One thing I do like about white vans though is when they cut you up, at least they're fast with it. Like some cars, they push in, but they're indecisive about it. At least push in with some effort. It is a busy day for Popo and Ambo. Also, I use for this current e-bike LAKA insurance. Basically, if the bike gets stolen, more or less when you're doing deliveries, and you haven't abandoned the bicycle, like if you've popped in to get something, popped back out and the bike's gone, I do have LAKA insurance. I think my LAKA insurance is about £10 a month, but it just covers me to get an e-bike of the same value replaced if, you know, mine gets stolen. So I have left a one-off discount in the description, £25 off. A one-off, I think it's basically like a one-off £25, which you can deduct off your monthly payments. Now that dude has definitely de-restricted his speedometer, or whatever you want to call it, because yeah, he is on a roll. So yeah, LAKA referral code is in the description. Now, it took this hill on like a beast. Didn't even realise I was through my spiel. Didn't even realise I was going up a hill. That's how effortless it is. So this battery roughly has about 500 to 1,000 charges until it would probably need to be replaced. So I kind of think of the batteries as petrol. They're not a permanent thing on the bike. They're something you would, you know, dispose of, use as you would petrol. So let's see how responsive the brakes are. hydraulic brakes, so let's get up to near 15, and then as you can see, has some real stopping power in them hydraulic brakes. But let's hear a quick word from today's sponsor. My go-to drink when delivering is Holy, and here's why. I've noticed I don't get heartburn at all when using Holy. When I would use other sweet sugary brands of hydration drink, I'd get really bad heartburn a couple of hours into delivering. You don't have to carry heavy water around with you. Just buy water when you want to use one of these bad boys. God, I'm gonna have to chuck this top away after this. And has a super slim form factor, so just pop it in your pocket and pow, you're good to go. They're so delicious. I already had one, and these only have 4 grams of carbs, so you get straight hydration without the carb bloat, and has a plethora of flavors, boasting only 20 calories per serving. So enough to put a pep in your step without running the risk of catching diabetes like other sugary dense drinks we all know of. And if you're looking for any discounts, I've got the discounts down here. And one of the things I absolutely love is all the starter sets are free shipping in the UK. So with all these discounts, if you're in the UK, you should definitely give it a go. But actually, let's get down there and unpackage this bad boy. So one thing I love about the Holy Hydration Starter Pack is they really, they put a lot of effort into their packaging. When you open it, you will be pleased to find out it comes with the actual shaker, which has like a little filtering system inside, and it comes with 14 of their flavors, really good flavors. As you can see, Stay Hydrated, Fruitalicious, powder with natural flavors, no BS. So just really good quality product. I have already had 7 of the 14 sachets that are available. So yeah, I was loving it a bit too much, but I'm well informed for this video now. One thing I absolutely love about the Holy Shaker is it comes with a screw on, screw off lid. You don't really get that with a lot of shakers these days. So yeah, really actually pleased to see that. And that's all it takes to have super hydrating, vegan, low calorie drink on the go. So let's give it a go. That really is quite delicious. And thank you Holy for being today's sponsor. So as you can see, there's just so much smoothness within this bike. I have to say it does feel pretty stealth. Like this bike isn't as, sleek as a pre-made e-bike. But I think for what it is, as a conversion, it has been converted really well. And you can get a conversion done, at your standard bicycle shop that will convert your e-bike. Just make sure you look around and try to haggle if possible. So whilst doing this spiel, I've already knocked off 5 miles unknowingly. But yeah, when we get to that dreaded giant hill, I will inform you guys. So let's zone out. Get some bad boy music on until we reach the humongous hill, and we'll see how this night rider copes. It's like people don't have necks to turn. Dude is on the phone. Okay, I do not know why that guy was holding the McDonald's in his hands. I know the drinks are pretty loose for McDonald's, but balancing it on your hand, really? Go. Now that is definitely not 15.5 miles per hour. Okay, it has started to rain just before we have made it to London Bridge. Okay, we are now approaching the hill that is going to bring us upon London Bridge. Oh God, it's chucking it down. So yeah, we got up that steep incline pretty effortlessly. So yeah, this is the other part. So we have made it to London Bridge. So we are not far from Liverpool Street. We got up that steep incline pretty well. But yeah, if I was to review this bike after using it for a week, I'd say the power's there. The form factor, it's not as sleek as I would like, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. It's a pretty cheap conversion kit, considering, you know, what is out there. That I would give this 7 Bombay bad boys out of 10. So I think I'm going to wrap things up there as the rain is starting to intensify. So yeah, I'm going to get myself home and start editing this.